deal. The latest is, of course,
yeah, these my other babies over here.
From my understanding is
these from the
kind of
big queenie right here. They ain't nothing but 3 weeks old.
Over the next 2 years.
They big too, right?
Paid running backs in the NFL. Certainly something he believes he deserves. But as far as the Seahawks, they are not inclined to give him any sort of raise. I'm told by Seahawks sources they don't like the precedent it sets, considering mainly because they already gave him an extension just a couple of years ago, and they don't want every player who has a Pro Bowl type season to come to them and ask for a raise. And the other part of it is they've been preparing for life without Marshawn Lynch for some time. In the last 2 drafts, specifically with Turbin, with Kristen Michael, they knew, Andrew, that at any time Marshawn Lynch could essentially not be a member of the Seahawks for whatever reason, so they're going to make sure that they can handle it if that's the case.
All right, Marshawn Lynch, roughly a little bit north of $5 million on this year's base contract. He is 28 years old. We'll get back to Marshawn in a couple of seconds. Andre Johnson showed up for the Texans today. A little bit of a headline, certainly. Got a little bit of a standing ovation as well from his teammates. Dwayne Brown said he had never heard that before. We want to get your 2 cents on that, but listen to what Andre had to say when he showed up for Bill O'Brien.
I don't think I feel very comfortable with where the organization is going. I think a lot of what I said in the off season had to do with things that have happened over the past 8-9 years or so. But like I said, I'm talking to Bill this off season, and the conversation we had has all been positive.
All right, so positive spin. You don't expect Andre Johnson to show up and say, I'm ticked off that I'm here. But where do they stand, the front office and the player?
Andrew, what you saw there is essentially the fruits of Bill O'Brien's labor. He has spent, and the members of the Texan staff, including, by the way, owner Bob McNair and general manager Rick Smith, have spent the last several weeks trying to convince Andre Johnson this organization is heading in the right direction. Bill O'Brien showed him how he'd be used. They tried to convince him that this was not the rebuilding year that Andre Johnson thought it was just a couple months ago. But Andrew, this is not something that just popped up today. He was in the building earlier in the week. He actually took a physical and passed it, I'm told, on Wednesday. And then, of course, he shows up today. Bill O'Brien successfully recruited him back. But the other part of it is Andre Johnson had some business concerns. He wanted a $1 million workout bonus that he missed out on, and he wanted some assurances that he would not be released with a big salary and aging as he is after this season. So he is not going to get his $1 million workout bonus.
Sickly world, y'all. Bringing it back, bringing Red Tigers back.
Andre Johnson was given assurances that he will be on the team in 2015. And oh, by the way, I'm also told that among those conversations with owner Bob McNair was a potential employment opportunity for Andre Johnson with the Texans after retirement, something he does no doubt like as well, Andrew.
And just to clarify, they gave him the assurance he'll be on the team in 2015?
15.
15.
Correct, that they wouldn't cut him after this year. That was one of his big concerns. He wants to retire a member of the Texans.
All right, how about that? So Andre Johnson, a little bit of assurance there from the Texans front office. Ian, you're in Buffalo. We'd be remiss not to talk about them. What can you tell us about their second-year quarterback now?
Well, what they are doing is trying to make E.J. Manuel the franchise quarterback that they drafted him to be in. I talked to general manager Doug Whaley today. What he told me they've tried to do is essentially surround E.J. Manuel with all this talent via the draft with the big